Hello, and welcome to Monday Morning Ministry Moments, otherwise known as 4M4U. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Johnda Buck, and I have the privilege of working with the ministry. I'm excited to talk with you briefly this morning about intentional living. If you are new to 4M4Us, each week you'll receive a short message that is connecting all of us together, bringing words of encouragement, quotes you can identify with, and support that we all need to hear. On the topic of intentional living, I want to share with you a couple of quick stories. When I was in college, I had a professor that had students write their own obituary. And at the time, I thought this was a really odd request. But striving to get an A, I obediently wrote my obituary. And at the time, I was married and had 4-year-old twins and worked full time. And when I wrote my obituary, it was mainly about my accomplishments, being named the first VP of HR under 30, being in the state's 30 under 30 program. You get the gist. And near the end, I quickly mentioned, oh, by the way, I'm married and have 4-year-old twins. After the students submitted the papers, the professor said we wouldn't be doing anything with them till the end of the semester. And I was really disappointed because I was very proud of my writing. But for the next 2.5 months, the professor shared insights with us specifically about intentional living. And we talked specifically about grief and loss. He shared story after story of people who had been so consumed with accomplishments that they had failed to live. And at the end of the semester, I was actually embarrassed to read mine. And fortunately, he gave us an opportunity to rewrite them. And when I did, mine was very different. I became motherless just after my 12th birthday. My mama was diagnosed with cancer when I was 6, and she spent a lot of time in the hospital or at home in bed. So when I wasn't with her, I was with my daddy. And my daddy was a Methodist minister in this small town in Kentucky where we lived. And one of my earliest and most vivid memories of my daddy was when he was officiating a graveside service of a good friend of his. What I remember is that it was a really cold, chilly morning in October when we arrived at the cemetery. It was atop a hill behind a church, a very small graveyard. I remember being stubborn enough to wear a yellow sundress and my daddy being stubborn enough to let me. But as he was officiating the service, he began to talk about the gentleman who is now deceased, his friend. And he said that there was a date of birth inscribed on the tombstone, and soon thereafter would be the date of death. But he would go on to explain that neither of these dates held any significance whatsoever, but it was the dash between the dates that really bore the significance. And then he would go on to explain from his perspective how the friend lived his dash. When we make our exit for our eternal home, our accomplishments won't matter at all. What job titles we had, how much money we had, what promotions we received, what we drove, the size of our home, none of this matters. What will matter is how you lived your life. What impact did you have on others? What memories will you leave behind? If we are living intentionally every day, we are making the most of our dash. Each person's intentionality is going to look different. For many listening to this, the intentional healing may need to occur. Intentional relationship mending, intentional friendships. The list can go on and on. I encourage you to think about this and do some thought work of your own. Are you moving forward on a journey of healing for your loss? Have you made peace with your past? Are you carrying regrets, which may seem buried under boulders of shame and anger? Are you living intentionally, or are you on autopilot, hoping that time stops the pain? As we prepare for a new year, perhaps this is a great opportunity to determine what things you want to be intentional about in the new year. Now, rather than setting out to do 52 different things, I encourage you to focus on a few. And soon, your intentional living will become a practice for you. In closing, if you are aware of other motherless daughters, share this message with them. If this message is speaking to you, hit the like button. Tag somebody in the comments if you feel that they should watch this video. And lastly, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you have to say. So we encourage you to share your thoughts and your comments in the section below, and we will respond to your comments. This ministry was created to empower, provide education and support to help motherless daughters to heal from their grief. Have a wonderful week, and we look forward to speaking with you next Monday.